that people flit away to heaven one person at a time when they die. Now, I want you to think about this. This may shock you, but if that were true, one person at a time flits away to heaven, heaven would be hell. Heaven would be hell. Imagine up in heaven, and you're watching, according to the concept, and you're watching your daughter drive her car, having a good time, maybe talking on the cell phone, maybe being with her friends. And she's traveling along at a safe speed, and up ahead at the crossroads is a drunk driver. He's traveling about 90 miles an hour, and you see what's going to happen. You see the two merging together. You see exactly the timing. Time and chance happens to us all. And you see it coming. You see it coming, and you scream, no! There's not a thing you can do about it. Crash. Your daughter is killed. You're watching that from heaven. Now, maybe you would take a perverse confidence in knowing, well, now she's going to be with me. I guess you could say that, but you know, there's just some ideas that are not quite right about going to heaven. I told you the story. Now, this is a true story. Husband and wife. She was married to a preacher. Good man. He died. Obviously, he went to heaven. All preachers go to heaven. Just kidding. Anyway, he went to heaven, and she got remarried. Perfectly legal. You can do that. Well, after she got remarried, she had a dysfunctional sex life. Why? Because she imagined every time her and her new husband tried to make love, guess what she thought of? Her former husband, who was a minister, watching the marriage bed. Yeah, watching everything. You know, it's sort of a strange idea. When you look at it that way, you think, you know, heaven could be like hell if it was really like that. And then we tell people down here on earth, 8-year-old boy loses his father. And we say dumb things like, well, the Lord took him home. The Lord took him home. It was not the Lord that took him home. It was the bridge abutment that he hit at 80 miles an hour that took him home. The Lord, you know, to my knowledge, he really doesn't take people home. But can we see, when we tell an 8-year-old boy, the Lord took your daddy home, why? There might be some resentment and hostility towards God later on in life by telling him that kind of nonsense, well, the Lord took your daddy home. You see, a lot of these concepts about hell are just purely emotional. And emotions often don't make any sense anyway. For example, I had an aunt. Her son got killed at 12 years old. Hunting accident. Involved a shotgun. Killed him. And she was talking to my mother, and my mother said, you know, the dead are in the grave, and they don't know anything, and they're waiting for the resurrection. And my aunt said, you know, if I thought he was in the grave, I'd go out there and dig him up. Well, the body, the body returns to the dust of the earth. Do you see what I mean? There's no logic in that. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you dig him up? Okay? Or, you know, up in heaven, grandma's watching. Grandma's watching. The grandkids in the back seat of the car, you know, teenage girl or teenage boy having sex, and the grandma watching get on drugs and whatever. Grandma's watching everything.
Check us out on the web at isthatreallyinthebible.com.